I mean, I think at some point there should be those like open like communication of, oh, this is what I do. I've never been married, or I have kids, or I don't, and those like main point. Because some men also will somehow few dates later they're like, oh, but you never asked. Oh, really? You didn't think this was very important for you to tell me that you're still going through your divorce, but you're not fully divorced. You know what I mean? Like those kind of
But I would even ask about more deeper things. Whether she's from alcoholic family,
Oh,
whether
wow.
the father was present or not.
Oh, wow.
Whether, in order to find out whether she has a lot of
Some
issues
tendencies
which were not solved.
But do you think this is fair that for a lot of, for another partner to judge the other date based off of their, I don't know, family, whatever issues they might be going?
Well, it's a fact. If you had this kind of family, you will have certain issues. This is not a problem if you are aware of it, if you put some efforts to therapy or something to solve it.
Right.
So I would try to find out how aware she is of her programming, because the problem is that today we go into the relationship and we don't even know what kind of wounds we had from our past relationships and childhood.
Yeah.
And then we expect that our partner will heal those wounds without even informing what kind of
issues we have.
And then he usually fails, and then we judge him that he didn't manage to do it.
Wow.
That's why the relationship doesn't work. Oh my God. So I rather find out quickly what kind of wounds
and what triggers the person,
and whether she went through this effort to do something with it, whether she's aware of it.
Right.
Because for guy, especially guy who like high value guy,
right,
you choosing the partner, it's one of the most important things in his life. It will have such a huge impact in the future.
You're basically creating generations from this.
And quite often guys, go into relationship, they put more effort to check the car which they're buying,
right,
than to really find out what kind of woman
they have in their house.
And if she's sexy enough without checking all the other things, but then they pay huge price for this.
That's true.
For not checking and putting enough effort.
I feel saddened when I hear people, which we will come back to later, but that just reminds me of people who are in marriages for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they go their separate ways, and you're like, oh my goodness, the amount of time, the togetherness, and now you have to start from scratch. And you almost, you can't help but wonder, like, was this something they missed in the beginning of their mark? Like, if that could have affected them in the future, that they failed to talk about or deal with, and then it came back in their respective relationships. But you're definitely spot on this healing, and almost like putting it on the other person to wanting to validate you and heal you instead of you actually doing the work yourself. And even speaking of that, there was I don't know if it was a podcast or somewhere, I was also listening to a conversation where the woman was like, it's red flag for her if she sees that a guy was in a domestic family, raised in that, because for her, she feels like it means the guy will be violent towards her and she cannot be with him. And I was just like, that is so like, okay, fast to come to the conclusion of that. What if, of course, a lot of people that grow up seeing crazy things in their families. Hey, I feel like for sure in Poland, don't judge me, guys, I'm just generalizing, but I do feel like alcohol is an issue. That's for sure. Like a lot of people just grow up seeing their parent or whatever drinking or anything. So, but would that make me go into the sense of assuming, oh, they're going to be drunks, and if they're drunks, then they're going to be mean and violent? Not really. I just know it's a culture, but then we just have to talk about it. Like, how are you when you're this way, certain ways?
Just talking about it won't be enough.
And that's why we go out. Like we go.
It's like there's a lot of this DDR.
But would people really be honest to you? Even if it's someone who's technically drunk, would they really be honest and say, oh, when I'm drunk, I'm really mean? No, I feel like you have to be in that situation to kind of see how they would react. Like, oh, we went out last night and, you were totally black-faced, or you were yelling, or you were sweet. Because there are some people, they're drunk, but they're keep to themselves. And there's some, they know everybody, they're jumping from one place, or they're aggressive. So it can be really different, but you will never truly know unless you're in that situation, and then think for yourself, can I accept this, or I can't accept this and I need to walk away.
Yeah, people should check it, basically.
You're right. You're right.
I know there is this grown-up alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, okay.
And, they have certain traits in their mind. Basically, when there was a hell in home, they usually used one of the few strategies to survive.
Right.
And they have the special behaviors, which are really well known. They became heroes called the clouds, who make everyone happy, and so on and so on. And quite often, they're stuck in this role for the rest of their lives. And it has also shadow sides, which are not pleasant.
Right.
So you can meet someone who've been in this kind of environmental situation, and I'm like 95% sure that he would have certain traits.
That's true.
And he would identify with them, thinking this is me, which is not really true. And I don't mind, but if this person went to some kind of therapy and find out, make distance themselves from this, heal it a little bit, then I can work with this person because he knows already what's inside.
Yeah.
But it's not my role as a partner to be a psychotherapist of my girlfriend.
Of course.
But I will be the victim of all these unconscious behaviors.
Exactly.
So in order just to protect myself, I expect her to do some work.
Work on herself. That's true. And I also feel like, I've had some short end of sticks where sometimes you're in a relationship and they kind of almost, maybe not manipulate, but they shift the blame. Oh, it was my parent, this was how I was raised, and then you kind of feel sorry for them, and you're like, okay, we'll work through it. But it's just it's never ends. Like it's never gonna end. No way. Yeah, but you're right. So let's kind of shift a little bit from this and come back to the whole masculine feminine thing. I'm gonna ask, like, it's no news that women are dominant nowadays. There's some girl boss, girl power. So I'm just gonna shoot straight the question, like, can dominant women coexist? I mean, even I laugh at the question because I kind of already know the answer, but I want to get your opinion. Like, can dominant women coexist with dominant men? Oh, I mean, is there even such a thing as two dominant partners?
I know that many women want this. They dream about it. I'm so strong. I do my business. I control everything. And there's no real guy. I want the stronger guy who will simply be stronger than me and somehow make me really nice, pleasant. And so on. Yeah, they have this dream, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not possible because the strong women, they have this shield, how I call it.
Right.
Usually because someone was not really nice to them. Yeah?
Right.
So they put this shield in order to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And they're wearing it for 10, 20 years. And they're hoping that if they meet a really strong guy, they'll just take it off.
Realize women. Yeah.
But this habit is so strong that it's not so easy.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, because I hear a lot
of them. And, I work with women like this. And I said, okay, you can be boss at work, but you should come back home and
hang the coat.
And really be
in your feminine energy.
In your feminine energy. And they say, I forgot. I was not using it for such a long time.
Yes.
So they can really see it doesn't work. And then from the other side, from the guy point of view, it's not attractive. Because, the main thing the guy should give to his woman is feeling of safety.
Yes, protection.
And kind of excitement.
Yes.
But the main thing is he should give space for her emotion. Without judging it.
Right.
Without solving the problem straight away.
Listening, yeah.
Yeah, just give the space.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't understand anything.
Yeah.
he still should give this place, acceptance and place for her emotions. Yeah?
Right.
And this is like iron rule.
That's true.
But you know what is the other side?
No.
What the woman should give to the guy?
Submission?
No. She should never judge his way of thinking, the way he makes success.
Okay.
And she basically should never judge him.
Wow. Interesting.
Because she should support him, make him strong.
Yeah.
Tell him that he will win with everyone and
just like put
behind
some
her.
Power in him and
and never criticize him. It doesn't mean that she will accept everything and say yes.
Of course.
She might try to show him somehow, but in really soft way, not this direct confrontation.
Not to bruise his ego and stuff. Okay.
Because if the guy have to fight with other guys all day long, if he is coming home, he wants to have a place of rest.
Right.
He wants to have a place where he will charge himself.
That's true.
If not, if he have to come home and fight with his partner and prove her things, you know, sooner or later there will be a secretary or someone who is nice, young, who really sees him as a great guy.
Right.
He will simply go to the secretary, even though she's not sophisticated and all the other things. But this is what guys want. Yeah? And this is what we need.
That's true.
And quite often women, they are very aware of what they need from the guy. And I have a fun with this when I go to the dates and practice this knowledge. Yeah? And I see, okay, what do you want from your guy? And there's a whole list. Okay, and then, okay, great. What are you going to give to the guy? Well, me.
But I think women, in women's defense, I'll try to be the devil's advocate. I feel like maybe women just don't know in the best way to articulate what they bring to the table, because it's easier to say just me. But I feel like maybe what they're meaning to say is, oh, I bring nurturing, caring. I bring, I don't know, excitement, optimism. Not all men are really fun, let's be honest. There's some men, they're just drained with work all day, and you come home and you see this bubble of joy waiting for you in the lingerie or a really nice cooked meal, and you're like, welcome, and you're just like, whoa, where am I? So I think some women, in their defense, like, this is what they bring. They bring, caring for the house, making sure your clothes are in order, the house is in order, you don't forget anything. They pay attention to the little details that, some men might forget. Some women are planners, like, oh, we want to go here. I know I'm a planner. Like, you want to go, just give me your credit card and I'll do everything. And like, I'm planning the itinerary. And some men don't want to have to deal with something. So it's a perfect balance sometimes, because, men, they focus on other things. I don't know, maybe provision, providing, and women focus on the other sub layers, right? So in their defense, right?
If they do this, then it's fine.
Then it's fine, right?
I accept it. But,
right.
Quite often you have also other
some
side.
people, they don't, of course.
This guy is coming back from work drained, and she's sitting there and saying, oh, I was bored today, I was waiting for you. Now let's go have some fun.
Right.
Give me fun.
Yeah.
Let's do something exciting. Take me to some place and so on. And this guy is like,
that's me. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know a lot of my guy friends that I've definitely asked, like, what is the most thing you really can? They always say peace of mind. I'm like, wow, are we that bad? We ladies bad? We're not catering to men in this aspect. So I do think from our side, yes, we do own our mistakes, and this is something like we need to work on, not to be nagging women all the time. Like, they're place and a time for certain things, and if there isn't, then we should make a time, like, especially we'll talk about certain things. So women, because we do like to express our emotions, and we don't always want to feel like we have to bottle everything
this is important, and I teach guys, they should take care of it, because if they give away so much energy during the day,
right,
they have to have conscious way to charging themselves,
right?
So they really have to know how they're doing it and have this kind of schedule,
right,
weekly schedule of the point situation which will charge them, because if not, they will be so drained that they will go into really toxic ways of somehow deal with this. So usually it's alcohol, drugs, porn, stuff like this. Yeah. So they should be aware of it and have their own system how to do it, and also inform the partner. Say, look, I can give you whatever you want, but this is the way I give away energy, and I have to have places to charge. You are one of the things which charge me as well.
Yeah.
Through certain behaviors and activities. And the guy should be aware of it and inform the woman about it. And if she is really into him, she will simply help him with this because it will work. Yeah. And most guys are not aware of it. They don't do that themselves, and then
it escalates.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true. You have a point. Okay. So coming back to what I touched on earlier with divorce and everything, we kind of know some things that lead to this lack of communication, blah, blah, blah. But what are like the top 3 things, because nowadays it's very rampant, quite rampant, the divorce rate. What are the top 3 things that leads to divorce? I wouldn't say breakup, because a lot of things lead to breakup in general, but even in divorce, like why is it so common that people are getting divorced? Because I know for women in my generation, we know about what's happening within the divorce rate, that we don't want to be in this space. So when we're dating and we see something go wrong, the instant is like, let's just end it. Let's just break up, because I want the one person that I will have a long term with. I don't want to be in the divorce statistics, blah, blah, blah. So what is this like top things? Maybe it would be helpful to younger people to know, like, okay, this is something and they can watch out for these things.
Well, actually, I would say 70% of my clients are ones who are in divorce.
Oh, wow.
Whose wife found another guy.
Oh, wow.
Really.
Oh, wow.
And in a way, it's their fault. Those guys' fault. I mean, because the way they behave is like I explained earlier. No, they really don't plan their lives well. They find the girl from their dreams, and they want to make her happy by giving her stuff, which they cannot afford. So they overwork themselves.
Oh my God.
Then they are tired. They have no energy, so they go into the toxic behaviors in order to deal with this. Quite often, they not emotionally aware what happens with them, so they don't communicate. And there is this kind of I call it shadow space, where you don't talk about your problems in your relationship, and it stacks. It's more and more of this not resolved issues, which basically grow and makes you distance one from another.
Oh my goodness.
And those guys, because they are so tired and they are usually not fun at all. They're boring.
That's true.
And these women, in a way, they cannot really feel safe with those guys. They go into masculine energy themselves in order to have a protection, to take over control, because he's sitting on the sofa tired, so on and so on. And they're simply bored with it after a while. And when they meet a guy who's in his right energy, controls the world, it's really difficult to go, to follow it.
And that's attractive for women.
So quite often I have guys who simply are in this moment when his wife is meeting another guy, or after the divorce, and they check my book and they discover it was actually their fault. What happened? Because I wrote about all this situation which leads to this final act. Yeah, and they see they've been doing all those stuff.
All of this.
This is why it happened. So in a way, it's a problem of the way guys organize their life. Yeah, and if you want to have advice for young guys, my advice would be that they should first build up their life in a way that they have the kind of business, they have best friends, they have activities, they have really fulfilled life, and they invite women
into this life,
because quite a lot of young guys they don't have interesting life. Then they meet a girl and she becomes the only best friend. They're in this fusion with her, so
You're stuck together.
No, this doesn't work.
It's toxic, yeah.
And in a way, it's toxic. It's boring.
Yes.
And we should have a lot of relationship with different people. This inter-exchanging relationship, and like I have with my lawyer, with my architect, about different things.
Yeah,
I've learned a lot. We exchange.
That's true.
And if you have like 20 relationship like this in your life, they make you rich and you are fresh because of this exchange.
Right.
And if you focus on your partner, then she have to fulfill all of this.
Wow.
And there is no freshness in a relationship because you spend time with yourself.
24/7.
So it also doesn't work. And quite often now, there is a lot of young guys, this nice guys as well, unfortunately. So when they meet a girl, they want her to be really happy. So they take too high loans for too expensive flat,
my gosh.
too expensive car.
Wow.
Because she wants to look good on Instagram. And he wants to make her happy. And he thinks if he gives her all of this, she will love him forever. And he's doing it not in a balanced way.
Oh my God.
Just out of fear to lose her.
Yes.
And then he's overworked.
Yeah.
Then he goes into the alcohol and other things. And after 10 years, she's leaving.
Oh my God.
And those guys became destroyed because he was honest. He really wanted to give everything what she wanted. She said if she will receive it, she will be happy. And she's not. So that's so confused.
Oh my days. What do you want from me?
So I teach guys basically don't go this road. You have to lead the relationship.
That's true.
You decide what you buy, whether you can afford it. You usually buy stuff 10 or 20% less value than you can afford in order to have some certain space if whatever happens.
Like savings.
You keep your life this way that's balanced, that you rest, that you have your man's friends, that you are interested again, you're fun, you're fresh.
Right.
And you lead your life this way, and you find a woman who will be happy to join and follow. If you meet a girl who have high expectations and for whom this is not enough, this is not the right girl for you. Just find a girl who will be happy in the level which you are in, and you can even live 10-20% below your level, then you are relaxed. And you can enjoy life.
That's true.
And this is the solution to have a really nice life. And quite often people go into this total stress.
They try to reach for what they can't have. Yeah. I can also say similar for some women. They always say, oh, I want a rich man. But it's work also having a rich man. A rich man comes with, you don't have time alone with him because he has thousands of other places he needs to be in meetings, or he needs you by his side 24/7, that sometimes you have to disregard your own like personal, dreams and what you want to achieve and stay by him or whatever, or go through women around him rallying because all women want rich men, and you will be dealing with that side effect every now and then. So there's a lot that comes with it. And also you need to have your own stuff because he will be doing other things. So where will you be when he's doing all of those stuff? So you're right. It comes with kind of finding someone your level, but even if you can't and you manage to catch a big fish or whatever, at least have something going on for yourself as well, so you wouldn't also somehow feel inferior, or you have to dedicate your whole life to kind of make up for that.
And from other side, the rich guys are being cheated on much more often than normal guys.
No way. Oh wow. Is it because something is not like happening in the bedroom? Is it that?
No, because look, in order to be with a rich man, he will be tired. He will have no time. He's rich because he has some issues which make him become rich. Usually it's to prove something to someone. So living with this guy means that you will be spending a lot of time alone. He's probably emotionally disconnected with himself, so he will be also disconnect with you. This is why the guys became rich, and those women are quite often bored, sitting at home waiting for him. And women who will be really choosing this kind of guy, they rather looking for investment than closeness, because the closeness is not really possible with this guy. That's why.
So they get the investment from the rich guy, and then it's closeness with some, I don't know, plumber guy or
That
teacher, gym coach. Yeah, I don't know who I was listening to about something similar like this. It was a friend of mine. He matchmade these two friends, and after 15 years or something, this whole COVID, whatever you were saying, like with finances, it wasn't keeping up or being able to provide as he would before. So she told him, "Oh, there's a lot of money in the truck business. You should go be a truck driver." And he left his other job and went to be a truck driver. I mean, talk about doing what your woman tells you to do. And it means you're maybe not so secure in yourself or what you're doing. So he went to do that. And after a few years, she realized it's still not working for her and she filed for divorce. They had kids and family. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So I know for sure, in my opinion, sometimes finance is one of the main things that really severe a marriage. So it's very important to talk about those good days and raining days. Like, what is going to happen? Are you going to leave me? If you're going to leave me, at least let me know so I know that, hey, I don't have nothing. She's going to leave me, or I'm going to make sure that I'm never in this spot where I don't have anything. Because sometimes some love are conditioned. I mean, do you think love are conditioned? Because I have a different view on that.
Depends what you call love, but for sure relationships are conditioned.
Right.
And they work when there is a right exchange. It works when there is exchange.
Yeah.
It's balanced.
Right.
The moment it doesn't work, when the balance is lost.
It's off.
Of course, we are giving different things. The guy gives this protection,
Yes.
new house, this rich life,
Yeah.
this
Stable life even, yeah.
But the woman has to fill it up.
Right.
Her femininity,
Right.
you know,
Right.
like support.
Right.
So, and when it's balanced, it works.
Okay, so I guess we'll try to wrap it up because we're talking. Oh my God, I can listen to you all day. I had a lot of questions before, but you've touched on it on most of the discussions we've had. But also, I'm very curious to know your opinion on like age gap relationships. Do you think this works? Because I also have heard different opinions that younger girls are with older men because for money or for other things. But in my opinion, I think sometimes it's mostly maturity and like the fact of that they are ready to have a family at that certain age. But to outsiders, maybe who don't know how this dynamic works, oh no, it's money and blah blah blah. Like not everybody older are rich. Like it's dispersed. But like in your opinion, do you think age gap relationship can work, or like the fact that people are from different generations, it will have a lot of effect that they won't have too much commonalities or similarities to make it function?
Well, there are two ways. Yeah, I think it's from the historical point of view,
Right.
It always work because
Heard that.
the highest sexual market value of woman, and she is when she's young.
Okay.
Simply, it was always like this. Especially the highest was when she was virgin.
Right.
And then, because look, the girl when she's young, she have access to everything. She doesn't even have to be clever,
Right.
and she will be, invited to parties,
Right. Right.
to balls everywhere. She has really high value,
Right.
only because she's young and beautiful. She doesn't have to do anything else. And this is the moment when she's the most precious. And in the past, it was like this, that this kind of girl was searching for the guy because when there is a highest value of man, not when she's 20, he have to work really hard, fight with other guys, be really strong inside,
Right.
never give up,
Right.
build up his business, his success, conquer the world. And around 40, he's reaching this level. And then in the past, he was choosing this 19, 20 years old girl because they were on the same value and the exchange was fair.
Right.
Today, it doesn't work because those young girls, they're using the value to have fun with all the guys in the yacht. And then when they became 30, 35, they expect the guy who was working his ass off in order to get this point to be with her and be faithful and start family. And from the guy's point of view, it's not really fair trade.
That's true.
So I think it works when it's as like it was in the historical point of view. Or you have two young people, and this girl sees that this guy has a potential,
and they both
and
work
that he will be working hard and so on. So she is betting with him.
Right.
She's choosing him.
Right.
And she will support him.
Right.
She will help him to become this guy.
Right.
And then it also works.
Yeah. And it has to be a good betting.
Exactly.
You bet the wrong way, honey, you win stupid prices and you lose your time.
This is how it worked in the past.
Of course.
For thousands of years.
That's true.
Only last 30 years changed everything because of feminist movement and all this stuff which mixed up everything.
That's
and
true.
Even though it is politically correct and sounds nice, from the biological point of view, it doesn't work. Yeah?
Wow. Well, on this note, wow, Marcin, we've dissected a lot into, relationships. I feel like the audience has enough for them to ponder over, think through. If you feel like you have questions, we have an answer. Reach out to Marcin Wasik on his Instagram. I think it's just Marcin Wasik, right?
It's Marcin Wasik zintegrowana męskość, which is like all the stuff.
The whole thing, yes. So, guys, just yes, that's all. And still, there's a lot to be covered, but Marcin has a lot on this, men integrations on his page, podcast, and many other things. So, thank you so much for being here today. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you. On that note, signing out. Bye.
Ciao.
On today's episode, I'd like to thank the one and only Studio Nova for sponsoring this episode. You can find them on Instagram, Prasopnia Nova, and they're located in Praga District, Targova 69/9. Thank you. Today on the fashion episode, what am I wearing? Well, today my stylist styled me in a Zara leather dress, love the feels, and the blazer is from Sava Vintage. She's a Polish international designer. Check her out on Instagram. And my lovely shoes are from Balenciaga. Yes, we love a good mix of high-end with low-end brands. So yeah, that's it. Styled by the one and only Krystyna Hannon.